Hello guys, welcome to the fourth episode of the Django project where we are building a Django dictionary website. Okay, so let's jump into our terminal. Let me start the server and let's see where we ended in the previous episode. First, let me source in the .env file. Let me source in the .env file. Okay, then let me start the project. Okay, the server has started. Let's open it up in the browser. Localhost port 8000. Okay, so in the previous episode we were able to finish the view for the search. So let's say we search for a word like example. You are going to get a search result. The search result has the word, the pronunciation of the word, and individual definitions, examples, and synonyms of the word. So you see, when you just come on the page, you see the search functionality. Let me reload the page again. When you reload the page, or the first time you come to the page, you see the search here. It's not a nice thing. You want to see the search only when you have searched for the word. And also, our word of the day currently is not working. So in this episode we are going to fix our word of the day, and we are going to fix this part. We don't want it to show when we load up the page. We want it to show only when we have searched for a word. And we want the word of the day to also get missing or to disappear when we search for a word. Okay, so let's get into it. Alright, so this is where we ended. So this is what we had in our views in the previous episode. Okay, so I wanted you guys to know that all the source code can be found in the GitHub repository. Each episode source code has been committed to a single branch, so you just navigate to the branch or the branch that corresponds to the episode you are watching, then you copy the source code and you can follow along, or you can use to verify the place that you are getting stuck at. Okay, so first we are going to implement the word of the day. So we all know that. Let's go to a dictionary website and Merriam-Webster. Let's go to a dictionary website and let me tell you what you want to implement. Okay, let's go to a dictionary like Merriam-Webster. No, not a dictionary. You're not searching for dictionary. Okay. Alright. Where is the word of the day? Bad. Let's go back. Let's get a different dictionary website, since Merriam-Webster doesn't have a word of the day feature. Okay. Let's just search for dictionary. Let's go here. Let's go to dictionary.com. Okay, so you see dictionary.com has a word of the day. This word of the day is for January 31st. So on 1st February, this word is going to change. So after every 24 hours, the word of the day changes. The word of the day changes. That's the same thing we want to implement in our project. So after every 24 hours, this word will change, and the definition that corresponds to the word will also change after 24 hours. Okay, so this is how you are going to go about it. You are going to have a Django model that is going to keep the word of the day for 24 hours. So let's jump into the models.py file. Okay, so let's create a class, a model class word of the day, word of day, and inherit from models.model. Then the word of the day, we need the word itself, which is going to be models dot character field, maximum length. Max length will be, let's give 255. Then we want the definition of the word itself. So that one is going to be model dot text field. Okay, then we want to keep track of the time so that we are able to know whether it is 24 hours past the time that the word was kept stamp. So let's keep a field called timestamp. So now it's going to be a models dot date time field. Oh no, models dot date time field. We are going to have an auto now, so that the moment it is created, a timestamp will be given to it. Okay, all right, so this is how our model is going to look like. All right, so now let's go and make migrations and migrate our model. So now Python manage.py make migrations. Okay, now let's migrate. Okay, wrong. It's manage, not mange. Okay, so there are some default migration that were supposed to be done for the user and other stuff. So we have done all that. Then let's create an admin, a super user. So Python manage.py create super user. I'll keep the name as admin, address blank, admin. Okay, yes, let's bypass the validation. Okay, so now let's start the server once again. All right, so Now we have a model that is going to keep the word of the day. All right, so this is how you are going to go about it. You are going to create a helpers.py file that is going to contact the API, the API that is going to contact the API. Okay, so now let's move to the API once again. So the API that we are using for this project is the word API. So there is an endpoint in the API that allows you to get a random word and a definition for that random word. So when you scroll down, you see the random endpoint. Let's click on it. Okay, so when you read the description of the endpoint, you can see that it retrieves a random word, optionally matching a criteria. You can use the same criteria as the search endpoint. Okay, so all that we need is it returns a random word with the definition. That's all we need. So let's take a look at the code snippet. We are using Python, so Python and the request module. Sorry. Python request module. Okay, so this is how the code snippet is going to look like. This is how the code snippet is supposed to look like. So let's copy all the code from here. Let's copy it from here. Okay, before we go and paste it, let's take a look at how the response from the API will look like. It looks exactly like the response we get when we search for a particular word. You see, we get the word here, then we get the result. The result contains a list of dictionaries. In this case it was just one, but in some cases you can get more than one dictionary. So in the dictionary you have the definition of the word, the part of speech, the synonym and other stuff. But in our case, we just need the word and the definition, and that's all we are done. So let's go into our text editor. And move into the the helpers.py. Okay, so you are going to create another function to handle the getting of random words or contacting the API for random words. Okay, so we're going to call it get random word. Okay, it won't take any argument. Okay, then let's paste the code that we copied from the API provider. Okay, let's back this one inside. Let's tap it inside a little. Then let's take out this request because you are importing requests at the top already. All right, this is it. This is all that we wanted. Nice. So let's return the response. Return response, but in a JSON manner. Okay, nice. So this function here is going to return onto us a random word with the definition and the examples, but we are just going to use the definition and the examples only. Okay, so we are going to change this API so that it's sourced from our .env file. So get os.get env API key. All right. Okay, we are on the right track. So now we are contacting the API for the random word with its definition. So the next thing we want to do is that when we get the word from the API, we want to be able to store it inside our module, then we keep it there for 24 hours. Okay, so let's write a function for that. So random word okay, it won't take any argument. First thing we are going to do is okay, it's going to take the response. Okay, now you are going to write the function that is going to handle the word of the day itself, the function that will send the word of the day and the definition to the view for it to be sent to the template for it to be rendered. So this getRandom function just contacts the API, then gets a random word with its definition. So let's create a function that is going to deal with the word of the day itself. So word of the day takes no argument. Okay, so we said that our model is going to store the word of the day. So first the function has to check get the last object in the model. So every time there is going to be only one word of the day in that model, so that database table is always going to have one particular object, just one. So we are going to get that object first. So current, we're going to call that one current word equals to word of the day. The word of the day, you have to import that class. So from, let's give some space, from dot models import word of the day, word of day. Okay, so now, so word of day dot object dot last. Okay, so we get the last object. Then we check, we want to check whether the time at which the word of the day was stored inside the database is past 24 hours. So we have to we have to create a variable that is going to keep the time that the word was stored plus 24 hours to it. So let's call that variable deadline, which is going to be equal to the word of the day that has been stored in current word dot timestamp. The timestamps come from here, comes from this field. It's an auto now time field. So time field, daytime field. So it's automatically added when it is saved. Okay, so let's continue. So timestamp. Okay, plus we want to add 24 hours to the time at which it was saved. So it's going to be, we are going to use the time delta from daytime, from the daytime module. So let's import it in from date time, import time delta. All right, okay, so you're adding 24 hours. It's time delta 24 hours to the current words timestamp. Okay, now you want to check whether this deadline is greater than the current time that we are in. So to get the current time, we are going to use a module from Django. So from Django.util import time zone. Okay, all right. So if the deadline is greater than the time zone dot now, which is the current time, then we want to get the word of the day. Then we want to return this word of the day. Want to return the word of the day. That means that it is not yet 24 hours yet. Do you understand do you understand the logic behind this? So if this 24 hours that has been added to the current time, or the time that it's supposed to be the deadline for that word, is not yet up, then we want to return the current word that is stored inside the database. Okay, so it's going to be so you are going to form a dictionary. Word equals to current word dot word, and the definition is going to be equal to current word dot definition. Okay, so we want to return these two arguments. So return word they are going to return the definition to okay. So we are returning the word and the definition if the deadline is not greater than the current time. Okay, but else, so in the situation where the deadline is greater than the current time, then it means that 24 hours has elapsed when the current word that is in the database was stored. So we need to generate a new one. Okay, so to generate a new one, we have to get in contact with the API. So we are going to hit this API again. So word, we're going to get a random word. Random word is equal to get random word. Okay, we call that one. Okay, so now we have to get the word from it, the particular random word that was generated. So from the response that is showed here, you see it will return a dictionary that has a word here, that has the word, and also return the results. So it also return a result. That is a list of dictionary containing the definitions. Okay, so let's move back into the editor. So let's get the word the word is equal to, okay, that is going to be equal to the random word response that we have gotten. Then we want the word. Now we want the definition to just one definition. That one is going to be equal to random word You see, we had it's a list of dictionaries. So we can have a word that has more than 2 definitions, but we want just one definition. So we are going to index the first element or the first object. So we get the first one, the first definition, and we get its definition itself. Definition. Okay, this is how we want it. So after we have gotten the word and the definition itself, we want to store the current word inside the database. So to do that, we will create a new object. So the name of our model was word of day dot object dot create. Okay, so our word will be equal to word, and our definition will be equal to definition. Okay, so the timestamp will be automatically be added to it for us by Django. Alright, so now you have created a new object. So let's say the user tried to go to the main page again. The word that has been stored here, is what is going to show, or else when it is not 24 hours, it is still going to show the one from the database, the last one which was stored. Since we said we want to keep one object at a time, we have to delete the one that existed over there, the one which its time has elapsed. Okay, the one which its deadline has elapsed. So to delete that object from the database, you have to call current word dot delete. Okay, then we have deleted it from the database. Alright, okay, so one last thing, we are supposed to return the definition and the word. We're going to return the same thing as this. So let's copy it. Alright, okay, so now we are almost done with the word of the day's implementation. So let's come to the front end. Okay, so let's come into the view. So the view is just sending data to the front end when it is a post request, but when it is a get, it is just sending an empty context dictionary, so nothing is rendered from a get request. Okay, so when it's a get request, what we want to do is we want to call the random dictionary, the random word, or what's the name that we gave to it in there. We want to call the word of the day. Function. So first let's import it, word of the day. Alright, then we want to use it here. So whenever it's a get request, we want to get the random word, or no, let's call it word of the day, word of day. this way. Then word of the day, we just call word of the day. Then word of the day is going to return to us a dictionary that contains what's the name, that contains the word and the definition. So to pass that word here into the context, we are going to go send it to the front end with word word which is word of the day. Word of day is going to be a dictionary. Which has word in it. Let's take a look at the helpers.py again, the word and definition. So word and definition. Definition. All right. Okay, so now our view is getting a random word with its definition, then it is passing it into the context and to the front end when it is a GET request. Okay, so let's come into the template and modify the word of the day box. You want the word of the day box. Okay, the word of the day box is supposed to be here. Okay, here's the word of the day. So we are going to change this word. This word was just a placeholder. We are going to change this guy. Going to change this so that it uses the word from the back end. We are going to change this one also so it uses the definition. Alright, that is basically all. So now let's go to our browser and try it out. Let's see whether it's going to work. So let's restart. Okay, so we got an error. It says non-type object has no attribute timestamp. Alright, it says the error is on line 41 in word of the day in helpers.py. So let's go and check it out. Line 43, helpers.py. Okay, yeah. Okay. So we are trying to get the last item from the database, which actually now is empty. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you that. Admin. Okay. Oh, okay. Our model is not showing up here, so let's add it to the admin.py quickly. admin.site.register. Word of day. But you have to import the model from Go to models, import. Okay, so now let's go and refresh it and see. Okay, okay, so now our word of day is showing here. You see, it contains no word of the day. So what this line here is returning none, and we are trying to add a time delta of 24 to a non-type object, which is not possible because a non-type has no attributes of time delta. So for us to be able to check that, or before we add the time delta to it, we have to check whether there's an object inside the database first before we go ahead adding the time to it, so that our server doesn't break. So first we check if current. We can do it this way: if current is not equal to none, then we do all this. Okay, but if else, then it means that there's nothing in the database. So we want to do all this. We want to contact the API. Get the word from it, get the definition from the response, create an object, and return the word. I hope you get it. Alright, so let's save it. Now let's go back and run our localhost again. Okay. Okay, we had an error which is 0. It said key error. Okay, I think I know where that is coming from. It's coming from here. Results. Okay, so we are trying to index 0, which does not exist. It's supposed to be results. It's inside the results that is going to return a list of definitions, or a dictionary of definitions, a list containing a dictionary of definitions. Okay, so now I hope this is going to work. This time around it's going to work. Okay, let's give it some time. And we still had the same thing again. Okay, I think let's so we're looking at the wrong we fixed one bug, but we forgot one. This side also supposed to have the results. So this one, fingers crossed, it's going to work. And there we go, it didn't work. Wonderful. Okay, it says results. Wow. Results. Let's look at the API. I'm not spelling it well. It's probably a spelling mistake. Results. Let's take out this and let me do a quick print statement and see what is. Okay, so we had an error that was saying key. There was a key error. It says results can't be found. So since we missed out this result, so I've fixed it up. So now let's go and run it again. Let's see whether it's going to work. Boom, it's worked. That is it. Okay, so now we have our word of the day, which is wackily, in a mildly insane way, insane manner. Okay, so let's go and check the database, whether it has been stored inside. Okay, let's log in. Admin. Okay. Oh, how am I getting this? Okay, let's check. And here we go. Wackily has been stored. So now let's go back. Let's refresh the page again. Localhost. Let's go back to the main page again. You see, we still have the wackily here. Let's refresh this once again. Still wackily. Last one. And it's still wackily. So this word of the day is only going to change when it is 24 hours, which we can't wait. We can't wait for 24 hours before knowing whether it's going to work. But I am very, very sure that it's working perfectly, which I have tried and tested. So now there are left two things we want to do. We want this word of the day to disappear when we search for a word. Let's say example. We want the word of the day to disappear. This box, we want it to disappear. And when we load up the page on the first time, we don't want to see this result here. We want to see it only when we have searched for a result. So let's move into our py views.py again. Okay, so we are going to add one argument or one key value pair to the context, which is the method. Okay, so method, yeah, it's a get method. Okay, get, and inside the post method we are going to add another one, get method equals post. Alright, so now we have added another key value pair to the context dictionary. So let's go into the index.py and implement it. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is that when the request is a post request, we don't want to show this the word of the day. Where is the word of the day? Word of the day, this word of the day. Word of the day. So we don't want to show all the row, the whole row. We don't want to show all this row when it is a post request. So we are going to run a conditional. So if request, or no, if method equals to get Then we want to show, let's move this tag to this side. Let's move it to the end here. To the end here. Okay. So let's go and try it out. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Like the videos, subscribe to my channel. We are going to build a whole lot of programming projects in Django, Python, Flask, Fast API, Vue, JavaScript, React, Golang. We are going to build a whole lot of projects in different languages. So let's do a post request by searching for a word. Example. Okay, so we're having problem with our server. Okay, so we missed out a comma. It seems we missed out a comma inside. Okay, and there it is. Supposed to be a comma here. Supposed to be a comma here. Okay. Now our server is working. Now let's start up. Okay, so it said it can pass equal to get. Okay, let's check that out. Template. Okay, let's try it and see. Okay, now it's working. So now let's search for a word which is going to be a post request. So what we are expecting is that when you make a post request, this thing here is not going to exist, or it's going to disappear. Make a post, and there we go. The word of the day does not exist again. It's just out. Okay, so it's left with one problem to fix. We want to fix that when it's a get request, we don't want to see this thing. Let's just refresh the page and let me show you. So when you just start up the page, you see this search result here. We don't want to see it when it's a get request. Okay, so we go inside this additional the template, and this is where all the from this part, the search, where we have the search result. This is where everything about the search result is being kept at. So we are going to put that one also in a conditional. Okay, if request, if the method is equals to post, then no else statement. Let's send the end if statement to the last end, which is going to be the synonym part right after the end for here. Okay, hope you get the ideology. So let's tidy up a little. Alright, so now let's go and check inside our browser. Let's refresh and see whether it's going to work. Okay, it says and if expects. Okay guys, so we have this error. Let's read debug message very well. It said invalid block tag on line 0106 and if expected but expected empty or for N4. Did you forget to register or load this tag? Okay, so it is trying to tell us that our end if here is not supposed to be here. So let's get it out of the way. Let me take out this dummy word and bring it below this N4. Put it here, and if. Now let's save it. Let's go back and load again. Beautiful. Now we are almost done. We are almost done with our project. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Like the videos, comment below, share on your social media, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you can share it and help me get out into other people too as well. So you can see now. Let's search for a word. Let's see which word comes to mind. Let's search for channel. Let's give it some time. Okay, there we go. Now our dictionary website is done. Okay, so we can search for a word. A word comes with its own definition and examples and synonym. Comes with example and synonyms. Alright, and when you load up the page, you get a word of the day which changes every 24 hours. So guys, this is the end of this playlist and this project of building a Django dictionary website. It has been fun, it has been tough, but we put it through. We have built such a beautiful project. You can find the source code on GitHub. Each episode is committed to a separate branch, so you can get the source code pertaining to a particular episode that you are watching, but the final episode, the final project source code will be committed to the main branch. Okay, don't forget to like the videos, don't forget to comment below, don't forget to smash the subscribe button over there so that we scare the YouTube algorithm. Let's do this guys. Thank you for watching and stay tuned. There are more tutorials coming. There are more projects coming up. We're building project in Vue.js, building project in Golang, in Fast API, in Flask. We're building project in almost every programming language. So just keep your fingers crossed and keep the dialogue on this channel. Dev. Sign out.